Hello. Welcome to Data Pe Charcha show with Sumit. Excited about all the amazing conversation that we are going to have today. Joining us today is a data scientist, Tableau Ambassador, superwoman, and an amazing visionary. What's so special about her is that she loves to extract insights from data, and she believes that distance between you and everything you want to achieve is only a communication way away. Today, she'll be sharing her top data story tips, which will help us in our next assignment. Let's welcome Zainab. Zainab, it's good to have you here.
Hi, Sumit. Thank you. I'm happy to be here, actually.
How are you feeling today, Zainab?
I'm good. It's a good day. The sun is out, So yeah, pretty chilled. How about you?
Yeah, same here. For me, it's weekend. So it's Sunday, and in my to-do list, it was the only one thing which I wanted to have today, like having conversation with you and learn things from you. So that's all the thing was. Cool.
Oh.
Yeah. So Zainab, help me to understand little bit about yourself, little bit about your journey, and how you got introduced to this data as a holistic thing.
Okay. About me. So, my name is Zainab. I have been into, data analytics for a little, let's say 3 years, roughly in total. I know it's a short time, but yeah. And I have an engineering background, but then after my, master's degree in engineering, I just decided, I really like data. I'm going to go into it. And the segue into that wasn't so easy. So I took a lot of courses, but I wasn't really doing anything. And, through one of the courses, I stumbled on Tableau. And that was like my initial, interaction with Tableau. And I told myself, wow, okay, I have Tableau, but I can't do these amazing things that I see other people do, right? And so after like a while, I stopped using Tableau. I didn't use it. I didn't do anything with Tableau. And fast forward to like 2 years, this year actually, I picked it up again, and I joined the community. That really helped. And then I started actively busy again in June. And I think it just happened it was just like magic, because I didn't expect that within like 4 months of me actively visiting and like picking up Tableau again, I'm going to be named an ambassador. I couldn't believe it, and I mean, I'm new to the community, new to everything. And so when I received the email that I was going to be a Tableau ambassador, a Tableau Public ambassador, I was really, really, I was shocked. I didn't think I deserved it, but thankfully,
definitely you deserved it. Yeah.
yeah. So that was like my little short Tableau journey. And I currently work as a data scientist in a fintech here in Nigeria. I'm Nigerian. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria. And what I do, I basically make sense of the data we have. I help translate business objectives and answering questions that need to be answered through our data. So for me, it's really more about the end. So the means justify, the end justifies the means for me. So I use any tool that is in my arsenal. And recently I also, for Microsoft Excel, Python, etc. to do my analysis. But recently I sort of initiated my team into Tableau, and yeah, we're getting there, So yeah, that's something about myself.
So basically, in terms of your Tableau Public profile, and I'm sure again we are going to see visuals from your side as well. But my first reaction after watching your Tableau Public was my God, wow. So not only about those visual aspect, but in terms of those story, and it was to the point. Each and every visit, I'm talking about each and every visit, they were like to the point, and I was like, this is something which is awesome, and I wanted to learn something similar to this, and that's where I connected with you, and then we had all this conversation, and now we are today here. So that's the thing.
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank you.
So when it comes to data visualization, it could be any tool. When it comes to the data visualization, what is your thought process behind it? how do you define what all business questions you would like to answer from those visuals, and what is the typical kind of project cycle which you showcase? And at this point, I also wanted to request you can share your screen, and maybe you can share those example with us, so that we can have that kind of sync with us.
Okay. I'm just going to share my screen first, and then I'll walk through my thought process. Maybe start with this one. Okay. So you asked about my thought process. I think the first thing I think of when doing any visualization is, why am I doing this, right? There are different purposes to doing different things, and you have to define that. So on my screen is a visualization I did for Makeover Monday. So Makeover Monday is a popular challenge in the Tableau community where a data set is posted along with a visualization that's probably not done in the best way, and different people come and re-visualize it, try to make it better basically, and it's a weekly challenge. And this was one of my visualization for, I think, week 35 or so, I'm not sure. Now, so the first thing that you ask yourself is, why do I want to do this visualization? So for Makeover Monday, for me, it could be, this particular week I want to learn a new tip, I want to apply it, or I want to focus on the design, or I want to focus on the story. However, for work purposes, it could be also for work, it's not up to me to interpret how I want the dashboard to look like. It's up to me to interpret what the stakeholders want to see, what the management wants to see, and based on that I take the metrics they want to see, and I sort of like put that in the dashboard and try to make it as the insight as obvious as possible and as straightforward as possible. So that's sort of like my thought process is, first, why am I doing this? Now for Makeover Monday, because it's something that I share on Twitter, people see on Twitter, my first purpose or intention is to make sure people see as much as they can and be able to tell as much as they can, just by seeing the static visualization, right? Without even interacting with the visualization. That was sort of my aim for this particular visualization. And most of the time, Makeover Monday or visits that I know that would be shared outside of Tableau, outside of people that don't even have Tableau, right? So that was the purpose. So this is about access to modern contraception by women in lower middle income countries. And I thought to myself, it's a really big data. I had so many information at country level, continent level, subcontinent level. What story am I trying to tell? What do I want to focus on? So I could focus on maybe women that have contraceptive access or women that do not have contraceptive access. So I decided to focus on the latter, which is what I'm just going to make this a full screen. Sorry. Which is sort of what led to this, right? And I told myself, okay, what is the best way to immediately let people know that there's a problem in this particular region, which was I tried to portray by using these colors. So immediately, without even going through the V's, you have a quick glance and you say, oh, something is happening in Africa, right? Or, Asia seems to be, sort of not too bad. There are some areas and etc. So I tried to immediately, you could see that just by the pictures, just by the colors, right? And then when when hopefully that catches your attention, you want to look at it more, and then you notice, the length of the bars here represent the difference between women that have contraceptive access and women that do not have contraceptive access, and which is something that you can also immediately tell visually without even, let's say, for example, going deep into the numbers, right? Which was sort of my aim for this visualization. And so that was the thought process. So how do I portray this, right? So I have a little legend here that describes how to read this visualization, because again, it's not always accessible to everybody. Some people, it might be obvious to them, especially people that probably vis a lot, but for some other people, because again, I share this to my Twitter, I share this to my LinkedIn, not everybody has that visualization knowledge. So for other people, how do they read this? I mean, they're seeing nice colors and bars and lines. What does it mean? So I put a little legend on the side here, and the legend shows, for the gray bars, the upper limit is the percentage of women with met contraceptive needs, and the lower limit is the percentage of women with unmet contraceptive needs. And the length shows and the color is percentage of met needs is greater than the percentage of unmet need. That's the color for this one. And then move over to the red bar. For the red bar, obviously, because the unmet need is higher, so it's the upper limit here, and the met need, which is lower, is the lower limit. And the color denotes that the percentage of women with met contraceptive needs is less than women with unmet contraceptive needs. And then I also went further to say the length of the bar indicates the percentage difference between the met and unmet needs, and each bar represents a country sorted in alphabetical order. Just a little bit on sorting is something that I sort of grapple with. So there's usually a consensus with, like, do you sort by ascending to descending, or descending, right? Do you sort in descending order or ascending order, or do you sort by country? For these particular V's, I've decided to sort alphabetical order by country. So that way, I mean, it's easier for you to just look at your country and say, oh, Nigeria, you just have to go through the alphabet and say, oh yeah, this is Nigeria right there. And so that is how to read this chart. Now, going into the chart, you now know that, each bar is actually a country. You know what the colors mean, you know what the length of the bars indicate. And then you can, over on top of a bar, to get more information. So like in Botswana, you can actually see the breakdown in terms of numbers, and, just dive down into it. Again, for my V's, I aim to not overwhelm with too much information. So I try to say, take the information by bit. So you see the bigger picture first, and then you can zoom into the details. And that's what I try to achieve by this interactive level. And basically, so Africa is a lot of problem. And you can see that by the colors, the length of the bars, etc. And Asia, some countries have, unmet needs. And so that is sort of like the aim for this. And one thing I always, it might seem minimal, but I think it's very important to credit the data source and also to credit yourself. I didn't use to credit myself because it seems like self-gratifying, but then it's really important, again, to just put your name and, sort of label that, this is who did this with, and also very importantly, put your data source, which I did here. And generally, I try to stay away from logos or pictures, because then if you are using them, you have to properly credit the source, except you are creating them yourself. And that was the story that led to this visualization, and how this came to pass. Yeah, basically.
This one is awesome, and the most important part, that is something which you have shown in top section, that is how to read this chart. And as you mentioned it very well, that not everyone is familiar with, let's say, Tableau or data visualization. And if someone who is not in connect with these things, if they wanted to understand this entire dashboard, so for them, there should be some place where they can go and they can watch, okay, so what is happening. And again, I really appreciate your thought process when it comes to the header, that is access, and on top of that there is a stripe. Right? So very meaningful. It's very meaningful, because just by looking at it, I completely get it what you're trying to say from that messaging. So and that's what the need is, right? Like, even your header should speak what your dashboard is all about. It shouldn't be generic, or that's what you mentioned there. Thank you so much for sharing this perspective and this entire dashboard with us. And most importantly, the way you have given credit to data source, even that was important, because if you're showing something which is kind of there is again responsibility in terms of data source and authenticity of that data source, right? So again, it is important to mention those part. Cool. Thank you so much. And in terms of color, again, very less colors are there, so it is not too dark. Again, in terms of those margins, so like basically those margins are also in terms of breathing space, or like empty space, so they are also very well utilized in this dashboard. Thank you so much. Definitely I'll try something. I'll take some inspiration from this, and I'll try to do something similar to this in maybe my upcoming quizzes.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to also show a very simple chart, but just to walk through that as well. So this chart shows the top 10 Nigerian banks by net profit in H1 2020, and it's just a bar chart, right? And my aim, actually, I saw a chart of that has this exact data, but it was a pie chart. I'm sorry, apologies to people that love pie chart, but like pie chart, I'm not the biggest fan of pie charts because it tends to seem like overcrowded and like not everybody can really interpret that. So I thought to myself, well, I'm just going to do this, and the aim for me was to do a very simple, clean bar chart that still tells the same story, right? And this is it, right? The focus for this bar chart. So if you would just permit me just to show something. Just give me a minute, please.
Yep.
Okay, cool. I'm going to have to stop and share another screen. Share. Hope you can see my screen.
Yes, we can.
So, right, this is the bar chart, right? So I have the data, which isn't a lot of data. It's literally just the bank name and the profit they made. So in Tableau, I mean, when you create a bar chart, it looks something like this, right? But there's so many ways to jazz this up to make it, a lot more easy to read and a lot more accessible to the users. And just some tips here, that some things that I apply in almost all my visualization, especially when I'm doing bar chart, is, for example, I try to clean it up. I hide things that are not necessary. I show the labels, and then just a little bit of formatting. It goes a long way, like, so I would typically remove I'd remove the grid lines. Sometimes I keep the grid lines. I remove the zero lines, etc. And then so I have a bar here that sort of aligns everything to the left, and it's just so easy to do that. You can just easily do that by using an axis ruler, which just change the color, and that already just elevates. I'm just going to remove that for I'm just going to remove that for the column, and also hide the other. And it just things, little like design changes like this. I just wanted to highlight how they go a long way in making your visualization a lot more cleaner. I mean, at the end of the day, it's just a simple bar chart. Anybody can do it, right? But then just making little going that extra step to make little formatting and design changes, they go a long way. And I changed the colors, added the logos, and I arrived at this. So yeah, I just wanted to show again how even for things as simple as bar chart, right? It doesn't have to be a fancy Sankey chart or whatever. You just aim to make little formatting here, design changes there, and it can immediately like elevate your views and tell the story in a very, very clean way. So I just wanted to show this as well because I thought that was important to share.
Yep. Wow, that's very nice tip, I would say, like to clean your viz. So again, thank you so much for sharing this thing. Most importantly, the way you have shown like how formatting can add value and how we can quickly enhance the way it is looking. That's awesome. Yeah. So both vizes which you have shown to us were insightful, and again, especially with respect to that thought process, like what exactly we wanted to achieve, that was something which was really awesome.
Thank you.
So with this, I wanted to get into a discussion where I want to ask you a question. Like, suppose someone who is in last year of his engineering or let's say computer science, completely new, and if they wanted to pursue similar career what you are doing today, okay, so what are the advices which you would like to share with those students?
Okay, thanks Sumi for asking me that, because I think it's really important. I mean, university at final year can be really overwhelming. What do I do? How do I get into a particular field, especially if it's so if it's kind of detached from what you studied or what you originally studied.
Mm-hmm.
For me, what really helped is I said in the beginning I joined I started Tableau and I just left it because I was like, nah, this isn't for me. So for me, what really helped is to join a community. So there's a local community, data visualization community in Lagos called We Visualize, and it's people from different walks of life, right? From students to people in career, people working and etc. And so I joined that community, the visualization community, and I honestly, I just used to participate. I never actually picked up Tableau. I just used to attend and everything. But then there was a particular seminar, like a webinar kind of, where Sarah Bartlett, a Tableau ambassador as well, came to talk, and they had asked us to prepare some visualization beforehand, and then she just gave feedback at the end of the day, right? And it was that little feedback that just it struck me and said, oh, a lot of things are possible, right? A lot of things are possible, and that's what made me start, I want to do more. So I would say join community. Community is very helpful. Sometimes it might seem like a lot of messages or, I don't know what I'm doing here. But then little knowledge and it starts to seep into you. It starts to sort of build your confidence. The possibility of what is possible. And you also get to network, right? You get to network with people in the same field. And so you know what they are doing. You know how they apply it to their real life. So I would say join a community. The second one is try to build a portfolio, especially with data visualization, something that can be seen. There are some fields where you can't necessarily have a public portfolio, but with data visualization, it's a bit easier to have a portfolio. So I would say have a portfolio. It could be anywhere. It could be on your Medium. It could be, just posting constantly on LinkedIn. It could be, you have a blog or a website, and it could also be Tableau Public in case you use Tableau. So, and how do you build a portfolio? For me, how I built my portfolio is I started participating in Makeover Monday. And Makeover Monday, because they do weekly challenges, as I pick up the data set, I do my own version, regardless of how horrible or how good it is. And then I post it, and then thankfully they also do reviews. I post it with the hashtag to get it reviewed. And that way, I watch the review and I learn some things. I apply it in the next week's challenge. And then I post all of these challenges. It's very important. I know it can be scary to post your work because you're comparing to all this amazing other work, but it's very important. Just post it regardless, because what you can then see is you can see a progression of how you went from not being able to do this to all of a sudden you are doing a lot more, way more than you can do, because you are constantly visualizing and constantly taking feedback and learning. So I'll say, post your work, have a portfolio, and it also, having a portfolio, also makes you visible. It improves visibility. So for companies that want to reach out, or you apply to a place and they look at your portfolio, or you could even be in your network, like your community, whatever, because they know there's always a reference to what you can do. They can see your work, they can see how you've grown, they can see your strengths, and it's really, really helpful to have a portfolio. And the just last bit I would say is, it's daunting, but you can tell yourself that you can do it. Have a little bit of self-confidence that nothing is impossible. And so that self-confidence, try to ask for feedback. Feedback can be scary because people are saying, oh, you didn't do this well or whatever, but it helps so much, especially when it's constructive. So try to ask for feedback, try to apply the feedback, try to have that confidence that, what, I saw this cool thing, I can do it, and try to do it. And those things, it all merges together. So being in a community, having the portfolio, and then just having that little bit of confidence. I mean, it doesn't have to be 100%, but just having that little bit of confidence really helps. And so that way you are visible, you are learning, you are growing, people can see your work, and then that way is, that confidence also, it also shines through when you're applying for a job, because I have a bit of knowledge about this thing and I can do it. You have that can-do attitude. So I'll say, those three things, really, really helpful. That's what helped me. And I mean, Tableau Public Ambassador, which I still can't believe, by the way. But yeah, I think those would be really helpful.
It's so worthful. All the 3 tips which you have provided to students are not just applicable for students, but to every individual who wanted to grow up in their career. That's really important. So first, to like join community, and second one is to build their own portfolio. It could be anything, any tool, not specific to tool, like join the community and then have that portfolio. And always make sure to ask feedback, and not just ask, but after asking those feedbacks, you also need to ensure that you implement those feedbacks so that you can see that progression, like how your work is getting improved. Very well said, and thank you so much for sharing that insightful thoughts with us. So with this, I really wanted to thank you for such a wonderful session. This entire session was really awesome, insightful, and I'm 100% sure that by listening to your conversation, many of us will try to get some insights, and they will try to implement these things in their business as well. So yeah, thank you so much for joining this show, and looking forward to learn more and more things from you as well. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sumit. I was really nervous, coming here, but I'm glad I did this, and I hope somebody can, people can learn from, just what I've shared. Yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Have a great day. Bye-bye.
Yeah, have a great day. Enjoy.